Uh, Good evening for some people who are joining from other parts of the world. And let me say, it's an absolute delight to be here to share about youth collaborating for compassion, a movement for youth by the Charter for Compassion in collaboration with the Foundation for Peace and Compassionate Leadership. So, thank you very much for being here. And I also want to thank Anam for being my backstage support and for Natalia and Felipe and everyone else here. Okay, let me start by sharing a little bit about the background of this particular movement that we have. Yeah. So if you just look at the world, I mean, if you look at all the people in the world, the different cultures, the different stories we have, the different identities, it is so beautiful. It is amazingly beautiful to see the world as it is. But what's happening right now is if you look at Mother Gaia and what's happening on Mother Gaia, we're in a bit of a polycrisis. We are in a crisis of multiple dimensions. We have climate change problems, we have conflict, Ukraine and Russia, India and Pakistan. Then you have conflict in Palestine and Israel and South Sudan, North Sudan. And I think overall, things are not working too well. And the question is, why is that happening? And I would say the answer is the kind of leadership we have today is not delivering on peace and equality and justice and sustainability. It's not delivering. I mean, putting it in one simple way, existing leaders have failed. And because it is leaders who create new futures, and the futures they have created are not really helping people. They're not helping the youth, or women, or children, or anyone else, or the environment, or animals. So, friends, it's time now to shift the leadership away from people who have been thinking in the same old way, the same old paradigms, the same hierarchical ways of working, to people who can think in new ways. We need fresh thinking, creative thinking, life oriented thinking, joyful thinking, so that we create joyful futures. And here is where the youth come in. Let me roll back to 2020. This was just before COVID. I mean, COVID had just started, and the Charter for Compassion. Many of us, Felipe and Susan Partno and Marilyn and many others, we listened to young people from all over the world. And what we heard was scary. This was 2020, 5 years ago. We heard things like, for example, that I'm not sure if this whole thing of technology is a blessing or is it a curse. I feel connected and yet so feel disconnected. My attention is sucked in by the media. We seem to be running in a rat race. I'm very anxious about the future. I'm anxious about my career choices, about academic expectations. And everyone seems to be telling what to do and what not to do, and things are not going well. There's racism, inequality in many forms. There's COVID 19 that was happening at that time. And I asked myself, is this the kind of world I would like to inherit, or do we do something differently? And at that time, young people clearly said, we need to wake up. We need to take leadership. If it is to be, it's up to me. We will make a difference because we're not happy with how things are right now. So, friends, this is how the movement started of youth collaborating for compassion. Can young people get together? Can we come together to co-create a world that works for all, a world of joy, a world of peace, a world of abundance, a world where there is compassion for myself, compassion for other people, and compassion for animals and the environment. And this is the kind of world that young people all over the world, young leaders like Anam and Felipe and Banglava and many, many more are actually creating. And I'm so proud of them. Absolutely proud and saying, yes, we are with you. Because, I think when we listen to children, again, when we listen to young people, they said, other people are controlling us. Our parents are telling us, oh, now you have to fulfill my dream. I said, hello, it's my dream. I mean, it's not my dream. My dream is something else. Media, the kind of pressure that the media puts, platforms like Netflix and so on, mobile phones, and actually addicted to the mobile phones, Facebook, Instagram, drugs, etc., etc. So I think young people seem to be quite anxious and caught up and are looking for freedom. They're looking for joy. They're looking for a sense of ease and grace and wholeness. And friends, here's the catch. Youth are 16% of the world's population. About 1.2 billion people are all young people between the age of 24 to about 30, 35. And yet, they're vastly underrepresented. Whether you look at boardrooms, whether you look at corporations, you look at parliaments, there are hardly any people who are, below 30. And yet, we are creating a world which is for them. So, it is these ideas that inspired us to do something. We said we can't just sit there and watch while all our new leaders, our young leaders, are feeling anxious and feeling concerned and tense. We can't just sit there and watch. We have to do something. So, Youth Collaborating for Compassion was born from this feeling. And I distinctly remember the day we held an open space, online open space discussion with young people where you can choose whatever topic you like. Out of 117 young people from all over the world, about 100, or 5 said that we want to discuss mental health. We're worried, we're tense. And that night, friends, I could not sleep. I couldn't sleep till 3 o'clock in the morning. I was worried. I said, hey, these are young leaders. These are the people who will shape our future, our tomorrow. And they are talking about mental health and anxiety. So something is really amiss. And I'm reminded of what miners used to do. Miners would take a small canary bird in a cage and go into the mine so that if there was any toxic gas, the canary would die. A very cruel indicator system. But, friends, I think in today's civilization, which is crumbling, the old forms are crumbling, it is the young people who are like the canary bird. It is the youth of the world who are giving us alarm signals for saying, hey, something is wrong. This is not working. We've got to change our thinking. We've got to change our narratives. We've got to change the way we live. So, what better place for us to start this conversation than with the youth themselves? So, that's how it was born. And so, we're saying, can we, across the world, can young people, wherever they are, can we talk about peace? Can we have conversations on joy? Can we have conversations on how do we set things right? Can we have conversations on what does it mean to be, what does equality mean? What does wholesome work mean? How can we do farming that is not extractive, that is regenerative? What can we learn from places like gavier toss? What can we learn from Australia or the permaculture experiments happening in India or Africa? What can we learn from each other? And on the left hand, you see that the world that is disconnected from ourselves, disconnected from our body, from our feelings, from our deepest calling, disconnected from other people. While we have many many likes and many things on the cell phone, there is no real deep conversation. Intimacy is lost. Families are falling apart. And there is deep disconnection with nature. A young person in a city doesn't smell the earth, doesn't walk on the earth, is cut off from the sunshine, is cut off from the smell of the trees and the soil. So, these kind of connections is what we intend to heal through this program. Now, I'm going to request my colleague Anam to show us a little film which is an introduction to youth collaborating for compassion, and it is on the website of the Foundation for Peace and Compassionate Leadership. So, Anam, over to you to show us the film.
This world is for everyone. It isn't ours to own or claim, but ours to care for, ours to nourish, and ours to love. With the lush green forests, the vast oceans, and even the tiniest creatures making one big family. And look at the variety, like a box of assorted chocolate, with so many smells and tastes and sights and sounds, like one delicious platter. So just imagine if we could all sit around this platter and exchange stories of our identities, our histories, our uniqueness, and also share what we lack, the problems we face, and how we can overcome them together. Imagine a space that inspires and guides the next generation. That's us, to become global ambassadors of peace and compassion. Wouldn't that be amazing? That's exactly what's happening with Youth Collaborating for Compassion, a co-initiative by the Foundation for Peace and Compassionate Leadership and the Charter for Compassion. The YCC is a global movement, an opportunity for youth the world over to come together and work in tandem to make a difference. With a host of activities that build on compassion, awareness, and empathy, fostering skills for teamwork and creative problem solving. This is an initiative aimed at unfolding peace and compassion with the help of young leaders, that's us, from around the world. So come join this movement and be a part of this beautiful journey, because we are future leaders, dreamers, builders, and artists. And when we bring change, starting from our schools, our neighborhoods, and our communities, we can change the world.
Thank you, Anam. Thank you for sharing that. And friends, that's really about what this is about. And there's a beautiful Brazilian saying which says, "When I dream alone, it's just a dream." It's a dream. I'm asleep in my bed and I'm dreaming. It's just a dream. But when we dream together, it is the beginning of reality. And I can tell you, over the past 5 years that we have been at this, the joy of seeing young people come together, doing projects, innovating, doing action learning projects, sharing in open space is so heartening, so heartening. And recently, I was the course director for a conference called Education Today Society Tomorrow, and about 70 teachers and principals had gathered, and we had also called about 12 young people from schools in Pune. And after listening to them, after listening to them share about their projects, the teachers and principals said, "There is hope in the world. We are so inspired. We are happy." So, friends, this is an invitation to dream together. YCC is not something we can do alone. I think it needs teachers, it needs you, it needs students, it needs youth, principals, the government, everybody. And the leadership, the driving force will be young people, the youth. Talking of this Education Today Society Tomorrow conference, and I'll tell you more about it as we go along. Thich Nhat Hanh has said, "Happy teachers will change the world." And when we ask teachers, how are you feeling? What we hear these days is, we're stressed. There's so much to do. We don't know how to deal with these youngsters. They know more than us. They know much more than us. We don't know how to cope with that. And we're stressed, we are tense, and when we are tense, then obviously you try and control the young people and they get rebellious, and it's crazy. So happy teachers will change the world. So one of the things we're doing in the YCC movement is teaching young people and teachers and principals to pause together. We're saying just be still. Be still for a moment. We don't have to meditate for hours or for days. We just have to learn to pause and be still. Instead of running around and milling around from one thing to the other and another thing to another, let's take a pause. Let's recenter ourselves. Let's just be still. So I think we found that giving people an opportunity to pause creates a huge, huge connection to their source, to themselves, and it also creates a feeling of connection and intimacy amongst them. These are the teachers and the students who had come together in a place called Asia Plateau, which is the center of the initiatives of change in India, Asia Plateau, and that's where we had all gathered. And one thing I must share with you, we had sessions on how can we use dance and music for education. We had sessions to go up into the forest and have a forest bath. We had sessions on how can we do open space. We actually had open space, and in the closing circle, one of the young people said, I have never seen teachers so joyful as I saw them here. And why was that so? Because we were dancing, we were singing, we were pausing, we were sitting in a circle and reflecting. There was no hierarchy. There were just circles, circles of dance, circles of song, circles of conversation, circles of listening and just being still and listening to the birds and the crickets. It was so beautiful. And we are now taking this movement, something I started along with a friend of mine called Kiran Gandhi about 37 years back. We are taking this to other countries, starting with Lebanon and then other schools. Now, I just want to share with you the Charter for Compassion has around 500 schools which are registered as compassionate schools. And the reason why we are working together is because we take all this thing that we are doing to these 500 compassionate schools and a couple of more, a few thousand compassionate schools in India who sign up with the Charter for Compassion and where we do these activities and take it further. So that is Education Today, Society Tomorrow, ETST for short. And you know what we find is creativity, we find joy, we find so much spontaneity in young people, in youth. In fact, I was once doing a teachers training program and we made a list on the chart of what are the qualities of a great teacher. And they came up with spontaneity and creativity and joy and playfulness. And suddenly, one of the teachers from the back of the room said, but isn't that how our children already are? We said, yes. So maybe we should learn from the youth, we should learn from the children, we should open our minds and hearts to the energy of innocence, the energy of joy, the energy of creativity, and deep, deep compassion. It is so touching to see how compassionate children are. And I'll tell you another story of, as part of YCC, we had conversations between school children in Pune, India, and in Karachi, Pakistan. And what happened, I will tell you in a short while. So, what happens is we want to create a sense of community between the teachers, between the parents, between the youth, between the neighborhood, and make the school a hub for community, for conversation, co creation, for listening to each other and doing something together, right? And quite central to our teaching of things to youth is appreciation and gratitude. Take a very positive view of your culture, take a positive view of your nation. What is it that your nation can teach the world? What are the good things about India? What are the good things about Pakistan, about Indonesia? What is great about Canada? What is great about different countries? So I think the this is one thing. I'm just sharing with you some snippets of how we do things, and we use a lot of appreciative inquiry. We say an appreciative inquiry, many of you may know, is a strength based capacity building approach to transforming human systems. So it's like saying, hey, young people, what makes your eyes shine? What are your superpowers? What are the gifts you bring to the community? What's the best in you? What are you good at? And I think just putting our attention on what is good about the school, what is good about the young person, what is good about the situation, what are the things that are happening, what are the bright spots, All that helps us to create a very positive frame of mind, and that creates makes all the difference. So we use a lot of appreciative inquiry in our work. We celebrate what is right with youth instead of saying, they're not this, they're not that. Hey, hang on, they're very creative, they're very innovative, they're so energetic, they're so authentic. So we celebrate in YCC, we celebrate what is right with youth. And then we say, okay, discover what is great all over the world. Let's dream together, let's design, and let's deliver. A few other things I want to share with you. Now, many people in the world are doing work for youth, right? So, Charter for Compassion, then Rotary has its own things, initiatives of change, service space, heartfulness, FPS, all doing things. But one of the things we're saying in YCC is this is not a loner game. This is not a thing that, oh, Rotary is working in their own silo, Charter is working in its own thing, Brahma Kumaris are doing their own thing. No. We say it is now time to listen to our hearts, to listen to the one source symbolized by the sun in the picture, sit in a circle and say, what is life calling me to do? I don't care whether I'm from Charter or Initiatives of Change or FPACL. Your life, you're from life, planet Earth. Compassion is who you are, joy is who you are. So listen to that and figure out what we need to do together, right? Otherwise, what happens, friends, and this I'm pointing out, uh, I mean, after much thought, is that if we work in silos, we miss opportunity. I just want to roll back to a few years back before Pune became a compassionate city. All the schools were competing with each other. All the schools in Pune said, we are the best, and no, 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 we don't want to share our best practices. We don't want to tell others what we are doing. These are our trade secrets. But we said, hang on, our customer, if we can call him or her that, is the young man or young woman. And our customer is life. We want these young people to be life affirming leaders. So let's share. So I'm very happy to share that in the last 8 to 10 years, we have created such a beautiful community of schools in Pune where they come together, they share their best practices. Every Tuesday, somebody is sharing something. There is camaraderie. We all go to one school and do open space there. Then we go to another school. It is so beautiful to find this compassion, joining us together. And I'm reminded of what Swami Vivekananda, the great sage of India, said, and he spoke at the Parliament of World Religions about over 100 years back. He said, bring all the forces of good together. Do not care under what banner you march. Do not care what be your color, green, blue, red, but mix up all the colors and produce that intense glow of white, the color of love. Ours is to work, the results will take care of themselves. And if, friends, if there's anyone who understands this and easily does this, it is young people. They have no hassle about, oh, am I from Rotary? Am I from URI? Am I from Charter? We've got to do something. Come together and let's do it. Join your hands and hearts. Come together. Bring the jigsaw puzzle pieces together. If there's something that's good that's happening in India, can we teach our brothers and sisters in Africa about it? If something great is happening in Africa, well, let's learn from that. Similarly, Indonesia, India, because the time has come when strengths of different people and different nations have to weave together into a tapestry of joy, peace, and abundance. We can no longer compete with each other. We have to complete each other. India has to complete Pakistan. Pakistan has to complete India. India has to complete other countries. We cannot go on fighting like this. And young people understand this because we got to link and listen and learn and leverage and love each other. And this is how it will happen. And one very, very important tool that we use in YCC is open space technology, invented by Harrison Owen in the United States. He was from Portland, the other Portland, which is on the East Coast. A good friend I had, and other people. He said, I tried to create a big conference and I spent a year creating a big HR conference. And then when I asked people what's the best part of the conference, they said it's the coffee breaks. It is in the coffee breaks that we got the most value, because we could speak to whoever we like. We could discuss whatever we like. And the next conference, friends, he made it into one big coffee break. And that's how open space technology was born. We have been using open space technology for over 25, 30 years. And I can tell you it is pure magic. Young people love it. YCC, we've been using it in schools. I've used it in Kashmir, with militants and terrorists and others, and it's beautiful. And it says, follow your heart, listen to authentically what you deeply care about, and follow that. Follow the compass of your heart. Don't just get forced to do this or do that, but follow your heart. Now, here in Kashmir, we had this was at the height of the violence and things happening. We had teachers come together, students come together, government officials come together, and we said, we're going to listen to each other. We're going to look at what is beautiful about Kashmir, what is great about us, and let's create a safe space for us to open our hearts out. It was for the first time in 30 years that people said, today I am feeling as if my voice will be heard. And if there's one group, one segment whose voice we really, really, really need to hear dispassionately in a safe space, it is young people. Right? So, friends, open space technology, and whoever's interested will be happy to share more on this, is a beautiful tool that we use in schools, in communities, across schools, across nations. It is beautiful. Then I already mentioned to you that we pause. We take a pause. We say, get in touch with the peace, power, and possibility inside you. And there's no such thing as Hindu peace or Jewish peace or Muslim peace. Peace is peace. Silence is silence. Let's get in touch with that. And when a Jewish person and an Arab and a Spaniard and others, we all sit together in silence, we're one. Because there's only one peace, there's only one source. Appreciation and gratitude, I told you, we are also developing peace pioneers. We are developing from different schools. We say, who would like to become a peace pioneer? So we develop them, we train them in things like open space technology, appreciative inquiry, conversation cafe, how to be centered, how to really, really feel that compassion in yourself, and how to facilitate connection, conversation, and co creation so that we move forward as a community. Yeah, and I told you this. We also have action learning projects like clearing up rubbish, or, for example, going out and saving the river, or doing anything that emerges out of these open space conversations. Very, very important part of our work is cross cultural interaction. From Pune, India to Karachi, Pakistan, we have had schools talking to each other, school children talking to each other. And if we can get it going later, I'll get you to hear what the children of Pune sang for the children of Karachi. And one of the things I'll never forget is one of the girls from Karachi said, but you're all like us. I said, yeah, why do you think it's different? No, but here we are told that, all Indians are evil and you shouldn't, talk to Indians and so on, but you are all like us. It was so amazing. And one of the children here, when he told his parents in Pune that we are having a interaction between India and Pakistan on Zoom, his parents said, what are you talking about? How can we do that? How can, no, no, I'm not happy with this. And they came to the school, and the school teacher said, hey, this is about a world that works for all. It's about learning about each other. And who else can do that except the youth? Now, our leaders may be fighting, are the small, tiny people, groups of people in nations might be fighting with each other, but the youth of the nation, the young people, the common man, the 98% want peace. 98% want to come and visit the Taj Mahal, want to go and see, this part, that part. So I think young people have to wake up to this. And then, of course, we also have the Joyful Schools program, where we say schools are societal centers for the holistic organization of life. And the community can be the neighborhood, can be the community around the school, can be the teachers, the parents of the teachers, the parents of the children. Let's come together, let's celebrate life, right? And of course, a lot of this material is, coming from Awakening Wholeness, which I wrote after that 2020, listening to young people. So I and about 115 young people put this book together, and His Holiness the Dalai Lama wrote a foreword, and it's a beautiful manual about compassion for myself, compassion for others, compassion, and how to do it practically, practically. So it's this is a mandala which is on the cover of the book: compassion for myself, compassion for others, compassion for the earth, and of course, in between, what is wholesome food, what is happy service, and what are the circles of life. So the superpower, friends, is compassion. Just like you can have a fan, you can have a toaster, you can have TV, you can have pump, light bulb, but if you don't have electricity, it's not going to work. Exactly in the same way, we may have all kinds of things, all kinds of plans and other things, but unless there's love in our heart and compassion, then we will not be able to go forward. And that is the hope, that we trust life, we listen to life, which is love in full expression, and make that our guiding star. I will pause here and will be happy to take any questions. And also, I'll fire up a small clip which is about an interaction between a Pakistani school and an Indian school. But until I fire that up with the help of Anam, I just want to request or invite any questions. So please go right ahead. Yeah, so Barbara is saying, what does this mean for groups of youth in Gaza, for example, who were born and grew up in violence? Barbara, the way this would work is something like this: that you would have uh, young people from Gaza sitting with young people from Israel, and just creating a safe space with facilitators where they can actually share what is happening to them, what's going on, listen to guidance, be silent together, and see what emerges. Honestly, one doesn't even know what will emerge. But if we create these safe spaces, if we create opportunities for people to listen to each other, to share in a safe way, without any rancor, without anything, then you find that things emerge. Yeah, that is one. Then Shane O'Connor, it's lovely to see you here still singing the same tune. Yes, Shane, I am singing the same tune, and we'll continue to sing the same tune. But now we have to create an orchestra. We'll have to create an orchestra together. And I'd love whoever is interested to participate to join in. And you can go to foundationfpacl.com. I'll put it in the thing, www.fpacl.com, and over there you will see a lot on YCC. And also, by the way, also peace meditations in 12 languages. There are peace meditations in 12 languages which you can see. Okay, any other questions? Let's see. The one thing I want to say is that young people really, really love dancing. They love music. So if you're working with youth, please bring in poetry. Please bring in dancing. Please bring in music. Like Marilyn uses a lot of music in her work. So, and she has a question. Madeline has given a question. I believe that most movements have been spurred on by youth, but how do we convince those who are more seasoned in their lives to join youth to bring about transformative change? Beautiful question, Madeline. Thank you for that question. I would simply say that the sheer power and joy of youth coming together, of making an impact, will compel others to join them. They will be attracted by the force of creativity, of innovation, of joy that youth bring uh, that my that's my hypothesis, that people will join in. Like, for example, when young people started sharing in the ETST conference, which I mentioned recently, it was so inspiring for the teachers and principals. It was literally like they said, yes, how can we support you, how can we help you or serve you to take things forward. Yeah. Any other questions? I'm happy to take a few more questions. And meanwhile, yes, Marilyn, Seeds of Peace, Neve Shalom, Wat Al Salam, and Family Circle are groups in Palestine, Israel, who are bringing young people together in safe spaces. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Marilyn, for sharing that. And like the diagram showed, all these little pieces, like jigsaw puzzle pieces all over the world. URI is doing something, Neve Shalom is doing something, Seeds of Peace is doing something, cross border education is doing something. It's time, like the schools in Pune, for all of us to sit together in a circle, see what each person brings, listen to our heart, listen to the common source, the peace within, and ask, okay, how can I contribute? How can I serve? And it will happen, Marilyn. It is already happening because, like in ETST, hundreds of schools come and collaborate. It's no longer just one school or one, it's a movement of schools in India. And it is so heartening to see schools that were competing with each other are now eager to share their best practices. And one of the things we want to do is a global appreciative inquiry for action. I'll just put it in the chat box. GAIA. It's a global appreciative inquiry for action, which is how can we bring the best knowledge from the world into one room, into one place, so that we can all learn from each other. The other thing, friends, I want to mention is one of the basic problems in the world is that our thinking is hierarchical. We have grown up in a very hierarchical way of thinking. And Anam, you can stop sharing this slide, please. The thank you slide. Thanks. And because of that, our thinking has become hierarchical. It's a paradigm of dominance. It's a paradigm of power over. But now the world is moving towards a paradigm of networks, a paradigm of power with, not power over. And this is also going to be reflected in communities, in neighborhood circles, in families, and so on. We are working with a tool called sociocracy, where young people sit in circles. There's a consent based decision making. Besides open space technology, we also work with sociocracy, which is a beautiful way to have shared decision making, shared power, not power over, but power with. And I think, friends, these are the new paradigms that will become more and more mainstream, and it is young people who will lead the way. Please take a look at what Riane Eisler has written about this, about the science of partnering. She has done a lot of beautiful work on this whole thing of paradigm versus network. Okay, I'm going to see if I can fire up the film, which I'd love you to see. And so, yes, let me just have a look and see if I can fire up this film and you can have a look at it. And then, yeah, just 1 second. I'm going to initiate, it's a few minutes of a film taken between one of the interactions we had between India and Pakistan. And I'm just praying that I can fire it up, and I trust the powers that be in the universe to help me to do that. So I don't know if the sound will come. Anam, if I just share screen, will the sound come? Okay, let me see. Video share screen. Okay, I'll give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Here you are. Okay, just tell me if to share audio, share a tab or screen instead. Okay, can you just have a look to see if it's If you can hear the sound,
The realities for both the countries, Hindustan and Pakistan, are just the same. And it is really time that we change the narrative. And I really appreciate this effort of Charter of Compassion to breed more compassion between the two countries. We went online with a school in Pakistan last year, and it was a beautiful experience when children of one class over here spoke with children of one class in Pakistan. And both of them, they said they are just like us. And it was then we realized that for what reason were they thinking for all these days that we are entirely different? Between them and us have layers and layers have come either of media, what we hear through other people, or through the whole political environment. But really speaking, when we talk to each other, we are just the same, looking for all those common things. The children are looking to do better, to learn more. They had common interests in terms of what they read, what they sing, what they like to do. As teachers, when we came together, we had common interest in terms of how do you really educate and make a difference to children such that they grow up fully blossomed, they have a joyful learning environment. So, everything that each of us as teachers, as students, and I think even parents, that's what even parents want. They want to bring them up, bring their children with all the love and care, and to see that they are successful in everything that they do. So our intentions are common. It's just that our geographies are different, and it's so important that it's time we start to come together to look at things that we yearn for, that we look for. We gift each other with our richness, and we just continue to build on this love, compassion, and trust. For that alone is the truth. And hence, this song from Swadha is a gift to our dear friends in Pakistan, the school that we connected. And the intention is we continue to connect year after year, such that soon we are able to also come together and celebrate either through a common project or some work, or just meet after meeting online after some years.
Assalamu alaikum. 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 May the love share your strength wings and fly across the earth and sing its song to every soul that is alive. May the love share your strength wings and fly across the earth and sing its song to every soul that is alive. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum assalam. May the
so Anam, you can stop sharing. So thank you, friends. We will. I Please feel free to share your questions. I'll be happy to respond to them via email because right now we have to close. Other presenters are waiting backstage. But I just want to thank you all for being here, and may we all spread peace, joy, and abundance on the planet. And a big hug and a big namaste to all of you. And thank you, Anam, for being a very able backstage manager for this session, and lots of love to all of you. Bye for now and see you online. Feel free to write to me. I put my email ID in the chat box. Have a nice day. Enjoy the remaining sessions and may peace be unto you and namaste. I salute the sacred in you, which is the sacred in me. Bye. All the best. Thanks. Thank you.